paragraph, I've just made 3 points. That's a good structure to follow in speeches. 3 things in succession is pleasing. We all know, though, that this kind of advice is for cloud cuckoo land. There's no point in knowing what you're going to say in this fictitious, brilliant speech if you're too nervous to make it in the first place. This is really advice for people who are never actually going to give a speech. They just want to fantasize about what it would be like if they did. Oh, the amazing things they would say. Oh, the rhetorical flourishes they would add. Oh, how the crowd would marvel and sigh. It's exactly like Meryl Streep as Katharine Graham in that scene. She would have given them a piece of her mind, those boardroom men. She would have wowed them with her plan. She would have aced it. Yes, except she didn't, and she couldn't. Why not? Because, I would argue, she didn't want to do it badly enough to let go of her nerves and leap. What the traditional advice does not focus on is A, how to get yourself into the frame of mind where you actually think you can give a speech in reality and not just in your imagination, and B, how to make that speech happen whilst accepting that nerves and anxiety are a part of life. In this book, we're going to focus not on the speech itself, but on you as a speaker. Who do you want to emulate? Who inspires you? How can you channel that person? How can you get a piece of what they've got? What do they do that makes them so good? To be the speaker you want to be is much more important than the actual speech. Because without your own belief that you can own the room and your desire to own it, the room is already lost. Form matters more than content. Too often, when we discuss public speaking, we talk about the content. What exactly did the speaker say that made this particular speech so memorable? How did they phrase that fantastic quote just so? How did they make those points so succinctly and cleverly? This is all well and good, and we should analyse brilliant speeches for their content. Whenever a memorable speech pops up, particularly one that resonates for decades, someone generally spent a long time writing it. But when I'm talking to people in presentation workshops, especially, I have to say, women, they're not worried about the content of their speech. They're worried about talking in public. How should they stand? Where should they look? What if they're nervous? What if they should have recommended someone else to give the speech? What if, like Katharine Graham, they bottle it at the last moment? We are right to have these anxieties as we know the truth about speaking. Just as anyone who's ever been on television knows the truth about television. No one who sees you on television cares about the clever or incredibly stupid things you say. They are much more interested in what you are wearing and how relaxed you looked. Please learn from my painful example and never go on Sky News wearing a too tight leopard print sweater that strains over your bosom. For indeed, whether we like it or not, we human beings are visual creatures and we love reading others. It's fun and low effort, much more than concentrating on the words they're speaking. That's boring and hard work. We all know that we could have the most blisteringly brilliant speech of all time, written by Jane Austen, with contributions from Charles Dickens and edited by the TED Committee. But unless we look the part in our gestures, our attitude and how we carry ourselves, no one will listen to a goddamn word of it. The more we can master the fun part, how we come across, the more likely people are to focus on the boring part, our message. There was a famous study in 1971 by Professor Albert Mehrabian, psychologist and communications theorist. He concluded that 93% of communication is non-verbal. Only 7% is based on the content of our speech. Of the non-verbal communication, 55% was body language, 38% tone of voice. Whilst this study has been the subject of heated debate, one thing seems clear to me. His conclusion is that when we're communicating, meaning and words are two distinct things. We infer a lot of meaning from the bits of our communications that are not words: tone of voice, facial expression, body language. Psychologists now accept that around 60 to 90% of our communication is likely to be non-verbal. This makes sense to me. If you watch a film